Welcome everyone, thanks for coming on Hallows Eve. Yeah? So for those of you that have a special practice, you know really what this is. I just made that up, yeah? Just to see if you guys all got straight. So let's set your motivation. We'll do a quick meditation before we get started. We've got the beginning of the secondary vows today. We've got a summary of what to do with the root vows that we discussed last week. And I realized that in 2 weeks' time, we would have done all the classes and we've got a week of review. So we'll spend in the next class, a little bit in the next class and the class after, to actually discuss them about how do I live that really. So we get the download, you get a feeling for it. If you've done the readings, you get some insight. But the key here is these things should help you. They should help turn your life into something precious. So hopefully by the end of next week, we've got the download of the 4 Bodhisattva vows, root and secondary. And we really think about, well, how to apply them. And if you do as an experiment with this precious life that you have, something lovely will happen if you're well rooted in the cause and effect philosophy, which is the reality of our lives. With that said, David, you want to do? No?
Do it, Dave.
I dare you, David.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
You can't go wrong.
I got it, alright.
The Tibetan, okay?
Yeah. Can I just read the other one as a model?
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
Yeah, why don't act as if you're a Tibetan?
Sashi
Uki Jishin Metotram Rirabin Shin Yinde Dimpadi Sange Shindu Mite Guargi Dropun Namda Shinla Chipasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Ninyatayami
Sange
Chudam Soki Choknamla Chanchu Bardu Dakni Gapsuchi Dakir Chenyen Gipe Sonamki Rola Benchir Sange Druparsho
Sange
Shudam Soki Choknamla Janchu Bardu Dakni Gapsuchi Dakir Chenyen Gipe Sonamki Rola Benchir Sange Drupasho
Sange
Chudam Soki Choknamla Janchu Bardu Dakni Gapsuchi Dakir Chenyen Gipe Sonamki Rola Benchir Sange Drupasho. So with that motivation, which is taking refuge, meaning the ultimate nature of our experience right now and always, is that things don't carry an existence from their own side. There's nothing on their own side, which means right now, right here, this could be absolutely anything, but you're experiencing this. So imagine what it would be like to experience something free of suffering or cyclic view. So for that, let's do a quick meditation. So take a comfortable seated position. Good. We're only going to go in for a few minutes. Okay. once you're comfortable, close your eyes. Bring your awareness to the room in your body. Review your body and relax any tension, whether it's your thighs or your brow, your face usually holds some tension. Just spend a minute or so getting comfortable in your seat, allowing your mind to focus on the breath, exit and entry through your nostrils. If your mind gets distracted, that's okay. Just return it to the nostrils, to the breath. From the deepest part of you, call on your teacher or most evolved being or the most enlightened being you know. Ask them please to be present with you. And you can either picture them visually in front of you or feel their presence in front of you. And see if His Holiness the Dalai Lama were right here, stepping in front of you right now. And they are completely available to be with you, just you. And so make some kind of beautiful offering to them. Next, generate some kind of reverence for their high qualities. Think of the most beautiful quality that you see in them. Traditionally, this would be a prostration that you do because you recognize that. So if you have that practice, offer them a prostration. And then with their awareness in front of you, with their infinitely blissful mind, you get a chance to remove any obstacles from your mind stream by generating some regret over anything that you did that was harmful in your world. So think back in the last day or so, what action did you do of body, speech or mind that would cause harm in the world rather than goodness? See if you can recognize that having more of those actions in your world would actually do the opposite of what you want, which is peace and happiness. And in front of your teacher, see if you can make some kind of commitment to refrain from doing any such thing next time the opportunity arises. Then think of the most beautiful thing that you've been able to do in the last couple of days. Some good virtue, some kindness, something like that. And really spend some time enjoying the act of having done some great virtue or some goodness. Imagine that multiplying in your mind stream and really affecting the beings around you and your own view of who you are. And when you get the feeling of goodness in your heart and it's sort of uncontrived, you're not double guessing it, you're really happy that you have some good qualities. When you get there, see if you can imagine everybody else in the room feeling the same and being happy for them. Everybody in this room has done some great virtue, has struggled against some negativity, has done some secret kindness. These are lovely people we're in the room with. Some of them are magic, if not all of them. So see if you can feel beautifully happy about their presence in your world. And then look at your teacher and ask them to always be present in your mind stream, teaching you at every turn through the most beautiful and difficult times, through your passage in this life and anything beyond it. May they appear to you as clearly as you see them now. And ask them for a kind of blessing to please stay until you reach your goals. And as you ask them, imagine that they are turning brighter and smaller and rising up to face the same direction you are, until you feel them floating at the crown of your head. And just see if you can spend a minute or two with the sensation of your teacher glowing with light just at the crown of your head. And if you imagine that light dripping down into the crown of your head like honey, like a purification of any negativity or obstruction. So just sit with that for a minute or so. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. That wasn't my idea, it's stupid Halloween.
Was that the jelly llama?
I didn't actually see it. It was Stephen that got me the present thing. Okay. Silliness.
That was good.
Thank you, I couldn't see what it looked like. Thank you for coming. That was my big effort at a Halloween costume, unlike some really lovely people. What are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just an early 90s rapper.
Nice, and you are indeed. Yeah. What are you?
You said I'm a hardworking man.
Hardworking man.
It's just a costume.
We are all costumes. So quick, we've got so much to cover. Are there any questions before I start going on about the root vows, how to keep them, how not to break them, what breaks them, about general how to practice? why they're useful, why this and not something else. Any questions? Going once?
I guess, someone was asking me last week and they were like, well, I'm considering taking the vows. And I was like, have you taken your first refuge vows? And he was like, oh, no. And I was like, okay. So it's not really a question, but I know you kind of said it, but I think it's worth saying again that this is a second tier of vows, and it's awesome, and it's great to study it, and if people are interested, they should look at the first level.
Yeah. That's good. We had that question, His Holiness was here and he gave everybody a tantric empowerment, and you can't get a tantric empowerment unless you've got Bodhisattva vows, and you can't take Bodhisattva vows until you've got some kind of practice that's pratimoksha based, at least refuge vows, right? The recommendation is that you have already some kind of practice in vowed morality of the pratimoksha kind, which is the vows of freedom, which is refraining from hurting other beings. So if you're a lay person, you've got the 10 non-virtuous vows, or if you're a monk or a nun or a novice monk or a novice nun or an intermediate nun, etc., right? So the idea is you have some kind of renunciation, and you say there's got to be another way, and so you take some refuge in the ideas that can free you from that, like that, yeah. So then, with that practice already giving you some results, internal results, you're walking on the planet, look like everybody else, but something else is happening internally. You're decoding this normal being that you appear to yourself and others to be. And then with the Bodhisattva vows, you're sort of turning up the volume to say, well, let's do that kind of practice a little bit more intensely because the results are quicker. So I keep using the analogy that you're on your road to enlightenment. You actually have to get on the road first, and then you discover that your road has big chunky rocks and obstacles, and you remove them with the pratimoksha vows. You can do it. You can do it without them. There's a way to enlightenment. But at some point you're going to have to do some serious practice. So it takes a long time to clear out any obstructions. Vowed morality, a promise to say, I'm sick of it, I'm fixing it, and I'm going to live by this code, and you trust through logic that living by this code will provide you results because you understand about emptiness and you understand about karma. Morality only works, it works in this world, but if you are to understand it, you need the understanding of karma and emptiness. Once you understand that things don't have a nature, you are forced to be moral, not because someone told you to, but because you recognize that the only way to experience the most magnificent bliss here is to produce the most magnificent bliss. You can't get banana trees from apple seeds. So to have a banana tree, you need to put banana seeds. Are there such things? Yeah. So that's a good question. We asked Geshe Tashi that. The last class, by the way, Geshe Tashi is only here for a few more weeks, and he's got this awesome class on the Lam Rim, the quick path to enlightenment, or the summary of the steps to enlightenment, and it's every Tuesday here at 7 o'clock till 9. Last Tuesday was the first day, it was a review. It was amazing, highly encouraged. He's only here for a short time. He's a highly trained monk, so immense knowledge accessible to us that want to refine our understanding. So we asked him, because I didn't catch the pratimoksha vows in the Dalai Lama's empowerment, so I'm like, did I miss it? What happened? And he said that it was quick, that he gave people the direction to please consider the motivation of refuge, and that was it. That was the thing, that he didn't have enough time. He said it in Tibetan, and then he did the same with the Bodhisattva motivation. So if people are considering, so this is the other thing. We only have, especially in this day and age, okay? When I first heard these things in the 90s, we didn't have the internet or cell phones the way they are now. Distraction today, superficial interaction with your world is so fast now. We get a quick fix, and then we need the next quick fix, and we don't go into depth unless you're a freak of nature, a weird creature, and then you go in and you investigate and you're really digging in, and you know, and I believe we have a few of you here today, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. With the environment that's emerging in our nominal world is quick, fast fix. And then what happens is you get that burst of, I like that thing on Facebook, my Instagram thing's got 50 likes, you know, and then it disappears as quickly as it came. And you need it again, and you need it again, and you get it again. And we're going to get to the point of singularity where there'll be some kind of internal explosion of time and space. Now, I don't know. Something's going to happen because it's escalating this, I want a quick fix now. So to be able to really dig at what's making up your world, you have to make some kind of personal commitment to a practice. And people do that when they hit a wall, and forget about it being called Buddhist practice. We do that about, I'm sick of getting fat, so I'm going to diet, you know, or I'm sick of not having a boyfriend, so I'm going to get serious. I'm sick of losing memory, so I'm going to go and buy the online memory thing, you know. So we get commitment, we get renunciation about dumb things that disappear. But for the big journey, for the big experience of life, you need that kind of commitment, you know. You need that kind of, if it's going to be, it's really me, nobody else is going to come knocking and say, hey, Sarah, I decided you should get enlightened. And, you know, we've all been watching you, and really this is an intervention. We've got this plan for you. You know, no, people, I've waited for them, they haven't come, you know. They haven't. Yeah, like, and we have the mummy syndrome. You think mummy's always looked after us, and somehow someone's looking out for us, you know, we're hoping. Now that can appear that way when you meet your teacher, and then when you meet your Dharma friends and so on, but at some point you recognize you're the savior. No one else has decided that Nick's going to get saved, except Nick, you know. And so that takes practice. It's, you know, you want to become a virtuoso piano player, it's not a wish. It's not like, I wish I did, I want to play the guitar. You know, oh, I wish I did, you go buy a guitar, you put it away. You've got to do some work. And the work isn't always, it is actually fun after all. Okay, why did I rave? Bodhisattva vows, first time hearing them. If you're hearing them, I heard this first in the 90s. When you hear them a second time, a third time, and so on, something happens. The impact of first hearing them and first wanting to dive into them isn't as strong the second or third time. Yeah? So if you've got them, this is good review and doubling your efforts. If you haven't got them, consider who's going to take care of your life. This is a path that lets you take care of your life. So my job is to say to you, this is worth doing, otherwise I wouldn't be teaching it. Yeah? And you don't know when you're carking it. You don't know, death is uncertain, the time of death is uncertain, nothing can help you when you, this is all true, this is not untrue. And so when are you going to decide to do something? So I chickened out the first time I met these vows. I had the Hispanic I'm not good enough complex, you know. I'm not good enough, I'll probably fail, I'll screw it up. Yeah. God Buddha is going to come and me, you know. I had these stupid ideas. And I waited 9 years, but in those 9 years I thought, well, I'm going to be clever, I'm going to best of both worlds. I'm going to get the Bodhisattva vows, I'm going to pretend as if I have them. So I took them in form of a wish internally, not in front of anybody. And I kept them pretty much for those 9 years. Without the fear that somebody's watching. I mean, not that any. I had this mixed view in my head, you know, that there's some external thing watching, but it's not really you observing you make them and observing you break them, and you get the result. And it's not escaping that. Once you get that really, then you want to take them, if you understand how they function. So, we talked last year about keeping, last Thursday, which by the way was a magnificent, beautiful birthday surprise. Yeah? I can't tell you how, I mean I can tell you because you saw me all cry like a little girl, right? I was so overwhelmed and so thankful and so happy that we got together, yeah? And I'll say special thanks to Stephen, yeah?
How'd the
For-
surprise go tonight?
Yeah, they didn't laugh.
Okay.
It was really awkward. Yeah. I sat here and I went,
I was hoping not.
yeah. Thanks. So thank you. It's nice to have family, like real family, real eternal family. That our mind streams are somehow connecting to this thing. We were born in very separate parts of the world, but I feel very beautifully connected to this place and you people. So I'm grateful for that. So on that day, last Thursday, we talked about the root vows. We finished the root vows. And then we talked about keeping track of them 6 times a day with the 6 time a day book. That's a whole different class, how to keep them. I gave you a quick summary. And understanding the root vows, it's highly unlikely you will break them. And if you do break them, you automatically disqualify yourself from the experience of seeing emptiness directly and achieving the first Bodhisattva bhumi in this life, according to Jason Carr. But that's really hard to do. So how do you avoid ever doing them? So this keeping the book or keeping track of these flavors in your mind is a magnificent practice that most of us love and hate, because we all struggle with, I can't do it 6 times a day, I did it 5 times, I didn't do it last week. The fact that you're trying at all is a good thing. So staying as far away from the essence of the vow, now that you understand the root vows, and staying as far away from that guarantees you from breaking the vow. But breaking the vow is not enough, Not breaking the vow is not enough, sorry. What if you're going to put all that energy in, what if you did the opposite? What if you, instead of harming others, you took care of others? Yeah, so then doing that actually accents your experience, and that's why there's a plus sign, a positive thing in the book. So think about that. Then we said, well, to break them, you have to have these 4 states of mind. You're willing to do it again. You have no shame at all during or after. You enjoy doing the deed. It's really quite an evil intent if you remember the root vows. Yeah, like not giving anybody dharma, for example. Because even though they asked you directly, and because you don't like them or you hate them or